From the art of the deal to keeping it real. Live from the Simply Vegas studios, it's The Power Move with John Gafford.
Back again for another fun-filled, fact-filled.
Yeah, fact-filled.
Exciting episode of The Power Move. This is the podcast where, you know what, we do a lot of things. But most importantly, we try to make you better.
Drink shit? Because what are you drinking?
Yeah, dude, no, this is like
that looks horrible.
No, it's like a green drink, man. It's good for you.
That does look like a nice green. Is that athletic greens?
No, it's some new greens I got. I don't know, it says watermelon flavor.
You think that looks like a nice green?
No,
I think,
athletic
guys,
greens.
you're screwing up the beginning of the show for everybody.
Sorry.
My name is John Gafford. I'm your host. To the left of me, which you probably guessed, is the one, the only, the Bulgarian mongoose, Colt Amidan. Colt.
I would like a little brighter green in my drink.
A little brighter green?
You have to be soilless
Gross green.
You gotta go
Gross green.
Sorry. Green.
And across the way, joining us, as always, for his insight is the counselor, Chris Connel. Counselor, how are you?
Living the dream.
AKA Chat GPT.
Chat GPT Jesus?
Yeah, the real walking.
Is that what we're going with for you, Chat GPT Jesus?
What?
Do you know what we're talking about?
Not at all.
Oh,
No.
the thing that
Chat GPT is what he's talking
yeah.
about.
Oh, the AI.
The open
Yeah,
AI.
you're
Did you enjoy
you're
it?
the new AI.
I went down the rabbit hole on the old AI this weekend.
With the Marines that were fooling it by dressing up as cardboard boxes and doing somersaults.
No.
Did you not see that?
I didn't see this.
AI can't detect humans that literally just wore cardboard boxes and giggled.
What?
Honestly, look it up. This isn't like an Onion article. Or if you did somersaults, because it was programmed to try to find like soldiers and to ferret out, I think, human forms. But it didn't have a thing that said humans do cartwheels. So somebody just cartwheeled across the whole way, and the AI didn't detect them at all as like a security threat. Like they didn't get picked up.
See, I'm using it for pure entertainment right now.
That Hulk was
I'm using it to help with a lot of my content creation, obviously, but I'm also primarily using it for my own stuff. Like what you saw was I was like, I went on the one that it'll do AI images, and I was like, give me the Hulk riding with two strippers on a Mardi Gras float in New Orleans down St. Charles Avenue, photorealistic, and that's what it spit out.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing. And I also did one, I'll show you, it was because you run out of things to think of and you just think of anything that's coming up, and obviously,
do you ever run
just anything that comes to your mind. No. Look at this was pretty cool. This was pretty cool. I thought, because I was like, oh, I know. I'm like, design me one where Better Than Ezra is in a guitar battle against the devil, and there's lots of lava, and this is what it spit out. And how dope are these?
That's pretty
Like that's pretty cool. I mean, that could be. I mean, that's like
that's
a solid album cover.
Tenacious D wants some.
Dude,
some credit for that.
Exactly. But I mean, it's bananas if you haven't played with it. Do that. But I tell you what, everywhere you look, and what we're going to talk about today, boys, is everywhere. It seems like we are surrounded by tough decisions. And you got to make hard decisions every day. I mean, me and my wife have anguished for the last 3 days over a decision we had to make, and we'll get to that in a minute. But before we talk too much about that, there's a decision right now in the space of which we work that I think people are struggling with. And everything, as a trained real estate professional, as I like to think that I am. Colt, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I look at things like, that I am.
I think
like I look at things like trends, math, the numbers, the stats, absorption rates. These are the things I look at to come up with the when I pontificate a position, it is based in reality. If you guys will recall, in the macro, if you will recall, over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I came on here because I got sick of all the prognosticators saying that, or the dime store prognosticators, we'll call them, saying that the market was going to crash. So I said, I'll bet $10,000 to anybody that says the market will crash. Now, effectively, we also said what constitutes a market crash? What is the percentage give back? Because the market's going to fluctuate. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. Right. Every market is cyclical. Yep. And I said, okay, what does a crash entail? And the overwhelming amount of people said more than 25% would be a crash. The values have to drop more than 25%.
That's pretty big.
It's a big drop.
15 to 18.
I'd have been like 12.
Right, but hang on. But no, that's an adjustment. I think it's 12. A crash is where it fundamentally changes a market, like what happened here.
Yeah, people do overuse that term.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a fun, buzzy word that people like to use. So I said, all right, let's put $10,000 up. Not one taker at all. All of the geniuses that were telling people, oh, it's going to crash, not one of them took my bet. You're so sure. I'm giving you the easiest 10 grand in the
I think
world.
you called Open Door too, by the way.
I did. Not one of them was willing to take the bet. And here we are into the recession that slowed things down. And it was all manufactured slowdown by the Fed, who wanted to cool off housing, who deliberately raised the rate to cool off housing and attempt to slow down inflation, which they have. All of the gains that were gained in 2022 were given back. All of those gains were returned. And all of those gains were gotten because the U.S. government decided to print trillions of dollars to hand out. So that was artificial inflation anyway. That wasn't real.
Well, it was real inflation.
Right. But I'm saying, we pumped them up and we pulled the air out.
back.
Yeah, when you
This was a wash.
That's what people think about stock splits too. If you snap a pencil in half, you don't have double the amount of pencils.
Right.
Okay.
Unless you sharpen them both.
No, but you don't have twice as much pencil. You have two pencils, but yeah, it's still the same pencil.
Right.
Okay. Just because you double it,
Half, yeah.
just because you print all this money doesn't mean that it's going to be reflected not in
Right.
something like the cost of some. We printed 10% more money and eggs are 12% more expensive now.
Right.
Right.
That it didn't do anything outside of the ordinary.
But back to housing.
Yep.
So you talk about housing and you look at all of these people who were a year and a half ago dying to buy a house. And they were looking at 30 houses. They were writing 25 offers. You were writing 10, 15, 20,000 over list, waiving appraisal, waiving inspections, asking for no closing costs. I mean, going balls to the wall and couldn't get a house. Well, what this effectively did was all of the big hedge funds pumped the brakes on their buying. All of the big Wall Street firms and the big Wall Street money that are trying to commoditize the American dream, which just takes single family homes,
Rent them.
and turn you from the American homeowner to the American renter. That is the goal. Because what people don't understand is when these big funds buy a house, you might as well burn it down because it is never coming back into the supply chain. It will never come back into the supply. If it gets traded, it'll be traded in a large tape of properties from one fund to another, from one REIT to another, but it will strictly be an investment property for the rest of its existence.
Yes.
So everything kind of cools off. Everybody slows down. Well, this has opened a window for those buyers that were locked out, completely locked out of the market 12 months ago. And that window is right now, where interest rates have adjusted down. They've slid down and trended down over the last several weeks. Inventory is a place where sellers are nervous. So now you don't have to waive appraisal. You don't have to waive inspection. You can ask for closing costs. You can ask for money to buy your rate down. You can be aggressive with offers, and you can get a house.
Still have equity,
and
sellers.
that window is open. But here's the problem, and here's the challenge where it becomes a tough decision, and it's this: good news doesn't generate clicks in the news cycle. Good news doesn't get anywhere selling ads for MSNBC.
Yeah.
Or for anybody.
You hear that, Dad?
Yeah.
They don't have your best interest in mind.
They don't have your best interest in mind. They don't have it. So the problem is, as the news reports on this, on a macro level instead of a micro level, because real estate markets are micro,
Yep.
it says, oh, the real estate market's bad. And these people that have this opportunity right now to buy are holding off because of the headlines that they're seeing. When the reality is this, and this is my question. So here is my question. My question is to you, Mr. or Mrs. American future homeowner, is this. Do you think that when the news starts to report that it's a good idea to buy a house, it will be too late? Because the answer to that question is absolutely yes.
Well, it's like a whip, right? By the time it's coming back to you, it's already.
It's roller coaster.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah.
So you look at what's happened. JP Morgan Chase is investing $1 billion into buying single family assets. They've now said, we want to get in that same business because Goldman's in it, because Blackstone's in it, BlackRock's in it. We want to be in that same business. So they're going to put $1 billion in the market in Q1 and Q2. These hedge funds, everybody I know that works at them, they are gearing up their departments to start acquisitions like crazy. And when they start again, because of the continued limited inventory, same thing's going to happen again. If you want to buy a house, you're going to be like, man, I should have bought one. And I should have bought one in February. I should have bought one then.
You know, I still live with the regrets of not being independently as wealthy as I would have liked to have been in 20.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You know, but
And everybody remembers that because it was such a crazy thing. But that was a perfect storm.
It was.
Right? Like there was fraud. There was just greed. Absolutely everything a perfect storm to go to 2010, right? And what people don't realize is when 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, builders weren't building.
Right.
People are still getting, the population was still growing. Things were still going, but they were not building. So, yeah, there's been a ton of building, but there was a good, I'd say 6, 7 years that they were not building what they should have been, which the inventory's done, right? Like, I don't follow houses.
My father-in-law continued to build. Yeah. He's a builder in town. And he continued to build, but to own them as rentals for that very reason. Because it was at that time that when the world fell apart for everyone else, he looked at it as an opportunity to get build costs at a more attractive rate.
Sure.
So he built multiple homes, built neighborhoods, communities that he just owned as rentals.
Well, they always say, never go with the flow. You should, when everybody's buying, then you should be selling. When everybody's selling, you should be buying.
Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful is when others are greedy.
Yeah.
And I live by that. And,
you do.
And I think everybody in this room understood that was coming. So when everybody was going nuts over everything, I was personally gearing up for going, you know what? I told my wife, let's sell our house and let's rent. Mm-hmm. And I said, this is going to come back to haunt because we're at a point where we would get a maximum tax appreciation advantage from the two spouses. We would both max out our equity, very little capital gains to pay, right? From where we got it, our tax basis, because you get $500,000.
It's 80, yeah.
You get $500,000.
It's $500,000 on primary residence.
Yeah, $500,000 between both of us. So we would have got that cap gains free, just that alone.
Yeah.
Sell it, move into a rental, and I'm like, and when the world falls apart, or if things, smoke down and crash down and the world falls apart, whatever, pick up whatever we want, kind of,
Well, I've already told my team, 100. The goal is for me, I'm going to buy 100 doors this year. That's the goal. I'm going to buy 100 homes this year. There's no reason. Why am I standing on the sidelines watching the hedge funds play that game when I can play the same game? Right. And I can actually play it better and faster because I'm more in the market than they are.
Right.
You're local.
So, that's the goal. But look, I'm buying 100 of them. So if you're thinking about buying one right now, is a good or a bad idea for you? There's your answer for me. I'm the guy buying 100 right now or doing everything in my power to get 100 of them, which is how it works.
That's definitely on my to-do list.
It is. It is. But I got to tell you,
there's certain sectors I wouldn't touch. Right?
We pick
houses
because you're worried about commercial.
Well, yeah. Like I tell people, warehouse, same thing. Where lack of inventory, the third party logistics, the way the economy's transformed in the last 12 years from retail to 3PLs, all this, that will not crash. These guys that have large office spaces,
oh, it's nuts.
I wouldn't be touching nothing. These guys that have, just recently in the last 4 years put in rent for retail. These guys are paying $450 a square foot for something that doesn't cash out. Like they'd have to really rent it for $3.20 at best, $3 at best. Like those things I wouldn't touch.
Yep.
Or why go buy a Starbucks for 3.8% cap rate right now when you can go buy bonds?
The ground leases and things like Well, it's interesting.
Things,
I was talking to another person about some of those retail leases, though, up in the north, and we were looking for a client of ours to try to find some retail spaces, and it's very slim pickings because nobody was building any either.
Yeah.
So you have an inventory issue with a lot of that stuff too. So
I got to tell you, I went to my mastermind group last weekend, not this week, not the one we just went through, but the weekend before. And every single big investor that was there that I know, they're all building the same two things. It's all storage and all mobile home parks.
Yep.
Because those are the two best performing asset classes in commercial right now.
They have been for 100 years.
I know, but here's the problem. There was I feel like there was a handful of people that knew that were building them, and now everybody knows that, which is why if you drive up and down like Horizon Ridge when they're building the most expensive homes on this side of Vegas up on this hill, and instead of building great entertainment complexes or places for these people to dine or go to dinner, you get another mini storage. And they'll just jam them into every little slot you can get, which is so stupid. And whoever in this city, whoever in Henderson is approving all of this is an idiot. You had a chance for Horizon Ridge right here in front of all of this to be Rodeo Drive.
Yep.
And instead you turned it into
storage.
Light industrial
whatever, yeah.
is essentially what you've done.
There is zero land left now.
It's so stupid.
I know.
Which shocks me because Henderson's been one of the greatest cities as far as planning and stuff. And
This was a
just
super
such
fail down this street.
Oh, I mean,
Super
honestly,
fail.
like, where do you go to go
There's
out?
nowhere to go.
Water Street.
They're sticking something up. Well, that's the problem.
won't go
For
to
whatever
Water Street.
reason, the local folks, and for those of you who listen to us in other parts of the city,
Sorry.
we're broadcasting right now where I live, which is Henderson, which is a city in the southeast corner of the Las Vegas Valley. You would really not realize you left Las Vegas and went to the other. I mean, we're 15 minutes from the airport here. You don't know, but it's just a different city. And the biggest challenge that we've always had in this city, if you may live somewhere like this, is for some reason the elected officials of this particular city have this absolute boner for downtown of this city, right? The problem with it is all that downtown area is surrounded with ultra low rent real estate.
Oh,
And
the problem,
it is
the reason is because they made that an opportunity zone.
Yeah,
and there's
and
a
it's-
huge $1 billion privately ran $1 billion opportunity zone company went
but
on
nobody's going to want to go out and hang out with your family or on a date when there is a 78% chance that a meth addict is going to roll up on you.
Unless Blackacre was playing the Goldmine Tavern.
Yes, unless Connell's cover band is playing there. Yes,
I like
that's
the
it,
lake.
that's it.
I like Water Street. The problem is are you going to drive 15 minutes to go there or 15 minutes to go to
'cause
the
here's the question.
famous strip?
What is the center of Henderson to you? What is it?
Green Valley?
Green Valley.
Yeah.
Green Valley Ranch is the center of Henderson, whether they want to admit it or not. And why they don't lean into that, I don't understand.
That is interesting because you have Lifetime Fitness there. You have Green
Everything
Valley
is there.
Ranch
And they've got all that. Now they're sticking something up new. I don't know there's something new going.
I think a
up
lot
in
of
the
people
corner.
don't see Green Valley as Henderson though, because until you kind of get off the 215.
But I think if you live here, that's the center of the universe for us.
Yeah,
I think that the district, like it or not, with their terrible shopping, is the center of the universe. Got
I'll
some
leave
great
that to you.
restaurants in there now, which is good.
you Henderson folk are a different breed though. You know,
God.
you guys have to. You
So
know,
fancy.
So
you guys, the toilet circles the other way, and the
Yeah.
toilets, the water goes down, the Coriolis effect. Or
well, you know what. I normally don't depend on the local government or any state government for anything. But I gotta tell you, what brought me up to this is, man, if I'm looking a little tired, it's because me and my wife haven't got a lot of sleep lately, and for all the wrong reasons, not for the reason you might think, Colt. You dirty
I
fucker.
was going to say congrats.
No,
Congrats
not
again.
Netflix.
Not a hail,
Netflix
not
and
one of those.
chill.
No.
yeah, new
So-
season of George and
No.
Ginny.
So my son went to probably, I don't know, one of the most well-known private Catholic high schools in the country. Well known because if you follow high school sports, their high school football team routinely is one or two in the entire country.
I was going to make a statement about how Colt can't go watch the volleyball team.
No, yeah, and Colt can't get within 500 feet of the male volleyball team. It's a long story for another podcast. But yeah. Anyway, so we started him at this school, and he just never kind of found his groove. You know what I mean? He didn't find his tribe, and was just kind of never really got centered there. And was just, we noticed. We got a 4.21 GPA out of him for first semester, and he did honors and everything, and was doing great. And over the break, man, he just never went anywhere. The couple friends that he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, by the time I was in ninth grade, not by comparison, but I was keeping it real.
No.
I mean, I was out.
That's right, yeah.
I was running around doing things. I mean, I was never at home by the time I was in ninth grade. I was gone somewhere all the time. And he just at home, hanging out, playing video games. And
You know what, though, John? I don't think that's your kid. I think that's all kids.
well, no, it's not. And I'll tell you how I know that, because his only outlet for social people really was like he would play video games with his friends that he'd come up with in younger school that were all at this other high school. And then that's what they would do on the weekends. And they all got on FaceTime and play video games. And then that started to get fewer and farther between, because they were going to football games, going to homecoming, going to basketball games, going to this kid's having people over that he doesn't know. And because he didn't go to that school, he wasn't getting included. So he was kind of getting left behind by his main friend group from the other place, and he wasn't really replacing them with the new one. So long story boring, he was, I mean, depressed is a big word, but I mean, I don't know.
Can we just all agree that ninth grade sucked for a lot of us?
I love ninth grade.
Sounded like you guys enjoyed it.
You're still in junior high.
I had a good time. No,
we weren't in.
Yeah, I was in. I was in junior high.
I
Yeah,
was
junior
high.
I was running the school in ninth grade.
That's why you love ninth grade.
I was running it.
We didn't have that. I didn't have junior high. It was elementary, then high school.
Yeah, no. We did. Yeah, I was at ninth grade, was still junior high, so I was running it back then. But anyway, so me and my wife had a conversation with him and made a very difficult decision that he was there to let him move from the private high school to the public school where his friends were. And that transition was today. And we did not know how things were going to go. My wife went to register him, and I was getting the play-by-play from some of the things that happened, and she saw at said public high school. And it is one of the better public high schools here in town. And but I was getting the play-by-play, and she was by the time she left, she was freaking out. Like, have we made a terrible mistake? What are we going to do? What's that?
Freaking out in a good or a bad way?
No, in a bad way. In a bad way. Like, what have we done? Do we just throw our child to the wolves? What's going to happen?
It's all normal.
What's going to happen? And
I had
luckily everything going well. I mean, he had his first practice last night with the new lacrosse team, but a lot of the kids on that team were on his travel team from before. So already more friends there. And now he said he knew 5 or 6 kids in every class from middle school, and he knew a lot. And he just knew a lot of people. And it was just a better experience because he's going to get the grades wherever he goes because he's a bright kid. But what's the point of getting the grades if you're just moping all the time? Then you wind up a bitter lawyer that doesn't want to practice law. That's what you wind up.
Not like me. No, that's a good point. No, but what is all that stuff worth? I think about that a lot. One of my friends, he left Las Vegas. He had a practice here. He got an in-house gig, and he moved to Charleston. So he's in-house gig, and I was asking him yesterday. I said, so tell me, like, do you like it? Don't bullshit. And he's like, I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that the changes are just completely present in my life. The things you lose when you leave here, people don't understand until they leave here.
What, we don't Las have Vegas, you mean?
Yeah, Las Vegas. We don't have to worry about swimming with crocodiles if we go into the lake, or whatever. We don't have to, mosquitoes, humidity, all this stuff. And we're going through it.
Where did he move?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, that's not. Is that crocodiles in Charleston? Is it alligators? Alligators.
There's no crocodiles.
There's no crocodiles. What are you talking about?
I'm just throwing out monsters.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said this thing was really interesting. It's that Ram Dass quote. I don't know if you get into that kind of stuff, but Ram Dass is a kind of new age thinker.
Get ready for the Google check, Colt. Get ready.
No, Ram Dass is very interesting. Like,
what do you spell Ram Dass?
I don't know how you spell
RAMDAS. Yeah. So Ram Dass is like he's a guy from here, but he's kind of an Eastern thinker. And you have to destroy yourself to be reborn again, to build yourself back up, right? You have to get out of being comfortable sometimes to make that growth.
Yeah.
And so
that looks like he's high on something.
He looks like the bad guy from Poltergeist.
Let me see the picture for it. So right? Very, very, very wise. Yeah. There's some of the wiser people I know really like what he has to say.
Yeah.
It's not but yeah. Interesting stuff when you talk about,
but here's the thing too,
because he wasn't going to grow. He was in a comfortable thing. He's doing the thing.
No, he was uncomfortable. But I also think the level of effort that he put forth was probably not what needed to be there because he is somewhat introverted, and I think some of that he wasn't as a small kid. I think some of that was acquired through COVID.
Sure. Okay,
and going from the big school to the 28 kids in class.
John, your kid and I and mine share a parallel. Yeah. My daughter was in private school, switched to public.
Yeah.
So for us, I'm not talking about necessarily the kids' change. I'm talking about change.
Our change.
Because for you, you're checking the boxes, right, as a parent.
Yeah.
Private school, good grades, on a team. Right? You're going through checking.
Yeah, it was a challenge. Yeah, there was some of that.
Your list as a parent. What do I owe my kid? Because I know better than he does.
Yeah, well, that was, and also that was part of and I'm not too proud to say this. That was part of the thought process, man. It was like, what are people going to think? What are people going to, what are people going to think? And of course, hated dumbass. First person he talks to, I don't remember who it was. He was talking to somebody. He was like, oh no, I was telling one of my friends. I'm like, I didn't really like it. And for the amount of money they were paying, it was crazy. I'm like, why did you even say that? Because now they tell their parents to be like, oh, they must be, are they doing okay? What's going on over there?
But as a kid, right? He doesn't realize
what's happening there.
No,
and I was like, you can't, don't talk about the money. But I'm not going to lie. As much as I try to not give a shit of what people think about me. And I walked the,
course,
I don't
that's
do
not
anything
like
for anybody
a
else.
human nature.
Still, you're like, man, is this,
It's a business.
Yeah, but
there's
the last
marketing.
thing you want to do, right? Like last weekend or weekend before, I just was at a funeral for a 17-year-old committed suicide, right?
Oh, boy.
Like from their school was just really sad. It's super sad. I mean, sometimes you got to look out for maybe not their education and their personal.
Yeah, we had 2 judges commit suicide this last couple
well,
weeks.
the one was wanted for was being investigated for something, correct?
No, it's kind of a complicated issue, but
It wasn't that big of a deal, right?
It wasn't.
Yeah,
but
I didn't
but when you
think
take
so,
something away from somebody, she was one of the most well-liked people that we know. She was very well-liked. What she did is her daughter was working at a clothing shop that she thought was a front for prostitution. She, as a judge, said, hey,
Her daughter was working there?
her daughter was working at this clothing store, and there was concerns that it was being used as like a front for human trafficking.
Oh, boy.
So she, as a judge, said, hey,
Look into
this. And they said, hey, you as a position of a judge shouldn't be intervening and talking to the police or whatever. This is my understanding of it. If I'm wrong, forgive me, but you shouldn't be intervening. You're intervening in a vice investigation. So it was already under investigation. So it was this sort of, so as a judge though, you're not supposed to, it's a judicial ethics thing and whatever. And for, and I don't know the details of it.
Sure.
I haven't read, but it sounded like she kind of got thrown to the wolves a little bit, but everybody who knew her liked her. And I have a lot of, close friends that were very good friends with her, and she's very well respected and liked. And, sometimes you get in our profession and it defines who you are.
Dude, yeah.
And once something defines who you are, like, oh, John's got kids in private school.
Well, we've talked about that. Yeah, we've talked about that.
That's
not becoming,
and that's where that Ram Dass quote comes in.
Yeah.
Where in order to grow, you have to become uncomfortable again. You have to lose all that stuff because this conversation came up. We were talking. He's been here 20 years, went to law school here, got his degree at UNLV. You build up this network here that, John, if you and I needed to get something done, Colt, if you needed something done, you'd know how to get it done here in a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
If I moved you to El Paso, Texas, you would be lost.
Yep.
Right. So you work all that energy, effort to build up this idea of who you are, these networks of people that know things that you need to know. And when you take that away, all of a sudden it's gone, right? And you get uncomfortable again. You don't realize what you had because you're so mired.
See, here's the thing, though. I don't even necessarily look at that as a loss, though, because for me, and this is what I was trying to explain to my son, I'm like, dude, even though you kind of have a background with these kids and you know a lot of them, they haven't really been around you for 2.5 years. So you can roll in there and be anybody you were, because obviously the vibe you were putting out, the vibe you're putting out wasn't working for you.
Sure.
That wasn't working for you. So let's change that. Let's alter the vibe that you're putting out to the world, because it's obvious that you're not getting it back. And here's a funny story. So, we told him, he said, you're just so negative. You keep putting out this negative energy. It's just so negative. That's what the universe is serving you up. So we made him watch this like 25 minutes at the beginning of The Secret, which, say whatever you want about The Secret, but I do believe in manifesting things. I believe the universe will serve back up what you get out. Right. So we made him watch this. And then Sunday we went to, we were out and about running errands, and my wife is like, I got to run by Costco, which, holy bad idea going there on a Sunday. It's like that's crazy.
Bad idea going there on a Tuesday at 11:15.
It's like traffic in Tokyo in that joint with carts, right? Yeah. But anyway, we go in, as we're pulling up, game goes, oh man, Roma's gonna be mad, and I don't care. And I go, what do you mean? And Gidget starts laughing. And Gidget's like, whenever I bring Roma here, like they have like the best like samples. It's like, here's a brownie, here's this. It's all the things that Roma loves. And she goes, when I bring Hayden, it's like, here's sauerkraut, and here's this shit he hates. Yeah. And I said, okay. And I said, okay. I said, buddy, I said, what would your perfect sample be? What would your perfect sample?
Chip cookie.
No, and he goes, like some really good cheese, because he likes cheese. I said, okay, cool. I want you to picture you get the cheese. I want you to imagine it, blah, blah. So he did. He does. I said, do you imagine? I said, yeah. How was it? He goes, good. I said, then be grateful you got the cheese. He goes, okay, I'm grateful. We walk in there. I swear to God, come around the corner, first sample, just put it out, brand new cheese. I start laughing. So I'm like, bro.
In a can.
No, not in a can. She's saying samples. But I'm like, there you go, right? The cheese, there you go. Because you put out positive, you get positive back.
Who moved my cheese? Yeah.
And so I think for us, for anything else, the move from the private school over to where he is now had to do with getting him positive. Because I think if he's just more positive about his situation, then better things will happen to his life.
Yeah.
And I did not see a route in his current situation where positivity was just going to start showing up.
Do you know?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, Mark Schlereth, he's a commentator on Fox Sports. Said luck has the distinctive smell of perspiration, right? That goes with all that stuff, right? You set yourself up for success, whether you maintain a positive attitude, you work. If you do all those things, everything's going to work out for you.
Yeah.
Well, you're always that bad, right? They're always. But if you're focusing on that bad,
Right.
you're missing the good.
But the corollary is this: you will never get anything for free. This comes up to me so frequently, and it comes back to what you were talking about. You were talking about earlier about the housing market and stocks and whatever. I haven't sold shares. I haven't sold out. I haven't traded any stuff. I just leave it alone. Okay, everybody that wants to go in and do this, and this town is full of people, and this country is full of young people. And John, you were talking about masterminds or whatever. This is a PSA right now.
Oh, here we go.
This is a PSA.
Do we have any low music?
No.
Jay-Z
No, this is actually
PSA.
an important PSA.
Oh, okay.
If anybody tells you that they're an expert in something and that they're going to make you money, right? Really think about it. Say, okay, the smartest minds are crammed up in Goldman Sachs. They have quantitative analysts running the numbers. You think that your buddy with his trading platform is gonna be XYZ?
Right.
You think that there's free money out there and that this guy and that guy that's selling you all the snake oil, that's the guy that's going to get you across the finish line? That's the guy who's going to earn you all this free money? Did you ever think that maybe that's a guy that's just selling you the dream, right, and taking your money to do so? This happened so much, and it was all the crypto. I've just been reading about a lot of the crypto stuff, and I've been reading about all these things. If anybody has a dream to sell you for free, it's 99% of the time absolutely full of shit.
You know, there was something that's going on. Well, I'm sorry, I forgot.
I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but
just say what they are again one more time. Say they're full of what?
Full of shit. PSA.
The more you know.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry.
No.
I was late with that one.
We're just talking about hard work and changing it and trying to grow and stuff. Like I said,
And it's never easy, right? Like
it's never easy.
People sit there and think, I can do this business, I can do that.
Yep.
You're looking at somebody. People aren't showing their losses, first off, on social media or at a meeting. They're not like, oh, I just got my teeth kicked in, right? Yeah. Like, things go bad.
Oh, dude, that's the guys I want to hear from. That's the guys I want to talk to.
I agree.
Because you learn way more from them getting their ass kicked than you ever will from
because they're authentic.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give a shout out to this cat. There's a guy named Bobby Castro who is a genius. He was one of the head
like
guys.
An honorary member of the Wu-Tang Clan.
No. He's one of the head dudes at like the $100 million mastermind.
Sure.
And Bobby is, a coach to many, and he is an arm, and he's a fantastic guy. Follow him on social media. And if you go follow him on social media, I saw Bobby last weekend in Tampa, and if you go follow him, you'll notice something, which is this: Bobby just had some sort of a hair thing done. I don't know what he had done. One of those things where they move some hair, they move some follicles about your
extraction.
hair, right? They move some hair. Now,
I'll be there.
And I'm going to be very honest with you, right? If I had that done, I can almost bet you $1,000 there would be a hat on my head every single day for 6 months until it was grown out. And he could give a rat shit.
That is amazing.
But you go on his social media right now, the videos he's making right now today could give a rat shit. Just
yeah, but good.
Here it is.
Good.
I agree. Dude, that's why, you look at a guy like that. I look at a guy like that, and I'm like,
you truly don't
but it's more than that. It's more than that. Like, I look at him, and I think that's what a truly authentic mentor and coach looks like. Because I'll show you my scabs. I'll show you the open wounds. I'll show you the good and the bad. I'll show you what I have to do to get to where I want to go, and I'm not ashamed of any of it.
Do you know how hard that is? So I'm doing a thing right now.
No one does that anymore.
Nobody.
Last couple of years, I've been trying to get bigger so that I could cut. So now I'm on the cut portion of it, which is the least fun part of it.
Colt's still prepping for his before picture.
Yeah, no, it's the least fun part of it. I've been on it very religiously since January 2nd. So, but every week I have to send my coach pictures. a side profile, right, and the front.
You don't do the back? I do all three.
I don't.
What are you wearing so I can visualize it?
No, and so you take those pictures and you're like,
you know what, Colt? I need to have like 70s like music just on tap.
no, but you take the pictures and you send them because you want to see your own progress, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's not like, and you're looking at it because usually when you go in the mirror, you like flex as a man.
Right.
And now you have to be like, hey, no, take the most unflattering because I want to see what it is as the worst, not like.
Yeah.
When I'm standing at the bar ordering that 5th strawberry daiquiri on the cruise, I want that angle.
Someone took of me or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's it. You've been enjoying yourself too much because when you're happy and you're making money and things are good, you're not suffering.
Yeah, you gotta slow it down.
Right. And Gordon Ryan, I have to bring up jiu-jitsu. We haven't done it yet. Gordon Ryan, he's one of the best jiu-jitsu players.
Solid though. I think you made it. How long did you make it?
Not bad.
33 minutes with no jiu-jitsu.
One of the best jiu-jitsu players,
35.
arguably ever. Right? Arguably ever. He put a post on January 1st. He's like, fuck this. He lives in this, makes millions of dollars sending videos and he's very successful and whatever. And he goes, fuck that. I'm going back to how I was when I started. It's just a picture of him. He bought like an old shitty 94 Civic. I'm leaving the Lamborghini in the garage.
Eye of the Tiger, baby.
I'm buying 94
Eye of the
Civic.
Tiger.
He goes, I'm going to sleep on the floor. And so I want to wake up miserable, right? And he's a guy that jumps in the cold pool and all these bunch of psychos, right? Just they don't enjoy their lives.
Right. You know the hardest part about the cold plunge, right?
Yeah.
Holding the camera, filming yourself for social media while you do it.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. The only reason to do it, right? So, but I kind of thought it was funny when I go, this guy's trying to get the most uncomfortable sleep he can, so he's just miserable. Meanwhile, you should be optimal with a pillow cube and all that shit. But it's just I like that kind of mentality where it's like I remember suffering, and I was so much angrier and better when I was suffering than I was when I was, content and successful and crossed the finish line.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you. I fell, I got between going out of town and doing this and being sick and some oral surgery. I mean, I kind of fell off my workout thing. I did, I was doing it, but I wasn't following the diet right. And now I am, I'm 2 days back on. So the moral of it is, I mean, yeah, it's still not like I reverted all the way back to where I was, but I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do.
That's the hardest part of any of this stuff.
It doesn't matter.
It's okay. Most people can be psychotic about something if they're stuck to it. The thing is moderation, right? Like to be able to have a thing and then not just eat all the cookies in the box.
Oh, dude, I got the sugar bug on me again, though, man. I was eating.
That's a problem.
Oh man, it was sugar.
Only one.
It was sugar. And I saw a post that was like, morning, green drink, afternoon, kale smoothie, dinner, piece of chicken and some green beans.
Yeah, but
11 o'clock, 24 cookies and a tub of ice cream. That's what it was.
Just a little shout out to our boys Foodie Fit that were here with Andrew.
Yeah.
I got them. They're making all my meals for this stuff. So Craig Goliath's diet and the cut coach, they're making all of it. And I hired a separate diet coach from my personal trainer.
Oh.
Because I want there to be a separation of responsibilities.
How many calories are you eating a day right now?
Probably about 2,600, 2,400.
That's a lot. I would blow up if I ate that many. Got to put a lot of gas in the big rig, my friend.
No, actually probably closer to 2 now.
Yeah. That's a lot of fuel. How many calories a day do you eat, Colt?
Probably 2,000.
Probably at best 18 to 2.
I
don't eat breakfast.
So I remember though, to cut like as a proper cut, you can't go into deficit.
Right.
Yeah, because you'll start storing out of
and so he looked at my diet and said I didn't eat enough. So I've actually increased the amount of food I'm eating.
I eat horribly. I probably do
down
like
12
18.
pounds. Yeah, probably down 12 pounds.
You're down 12 pounds?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Wait till Mardi Gras, buddy.
So, but I have a trip every month. So now I'm just trying to do that thing where I'm disciplined for the 3 weeks and full of shit 1 week.
Right.
And
yeah, when we go to New Orleans, it's going to be, it is an onslaught.
But that's why I'm
calories.
good right now.
Yeah, it's an absolute. Here's the good news. What's killing me right now is hockey. Oh God.
Go grab a couple drinks.
Because you have a couple pops, you go to Bavette's, you sit at the bar, you have a little appetite, you get a little tuna tartare, and just like.
Last Raiders games, I wasn't drinking at all. I went and didn't drink. I've been to hockey games where I didn't drink. I'll go have a coffee or a diet soda or whatever and just get the liquids in.
Yeah.
Drink water.
I think to lose weight.
I think we talked about it. I'm going to do the math on it. I think I'm going to upgrade the hockey tickets next year to include the F&B at the Elixir underneath. Because I think it pencils.
Sure.
I mean, dude.
Oh, you might be right.
It pencils now. It is expensive. Dude, like red vines are like $9 in Legion. It's ruthless.
Yeah, no, it's but again, when you're trying to not go to all these events and just have blowout calories, you know? And it's hard when you get to a certain age too. So I wouldn't have my blood work done. Like I'm taking all the steps. I'm forcing myself.
How was the blood work?
Perfect levels across the board, except what we talked about with the
Can they do blood work on you, Colt? Is that something that they can do?
They have to freeze them first to extract the blood pods.
Some sort of they've got like a log so green stuff comes out of you. Is that what it is?
But it's one of those things too. I'm 42 years old, right? So, you know, when you talk about saying exactly what kind of makes you nervous, you go, it's harder to lose weight now. It's like, when you're in your 40s, your testosterone is going to be lower. So you got to jump on it.
Yep. Yes, you do.
So I'm like, damn, I'm trying to avoid it forever. But
yep.
I think that'd be my ideal weight if I lived anywhere other than Vegas.
You're not a big guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm skinny fat.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that.
I would love to lose 10 pounds.
I've seen you on a boat. I don't remember.
Oh, I remember being repulsed.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was like,
John threw his shirt at me.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm in a hoodie?
I just look at that.
I love it. Remember, he said he always wears a hoodie in the sun. Oh, I get skin cancer. Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
no,
sure you do.
Sure
you do.
Love handles.
It's funny because just like John was sitting there talking about, you know, you're worried about what other people may say. When you really think about it, no one's thinking about you.
Nobody is.
No one.
Nobody
That's
ever.
the beauty of life. Once you've truly understood that nobody is thinking about you right now. Nobody's worried about your body.
No.
Nobody's worried about your appearance. Unless they're in competition with you because you're doing better than them, but it's going to be on a specific thing, and that's not somebody you need to worry about.
That's why I've always said, my kids, when it's presentation day, I go, pick number one. Because no one's thinking about, when you're number one, everybody's sitting there worried about themselves after, right? Go number one, no one's watching, no one's paying attention. You go last, everybody got it off their mind. They're like, all right, let's judge this guy 100%. Now, right? But number one, I tell them, go number one, always.
Colt, that could be the best piece of advice you've ever offered.
No.
That's a power move.
And I've given up.
You got the horn, Colt. There it was.
When
yeah.
Do you know what else?
Cool. Let's hear some more Colt advice about elementary school. Let's make this more kid friendly.
Kid friendly. Here it goes. Can we make an adult menu of the kids meal?
It's like you want dino nuggies at a restaurant.
Just good
Who
nuggets.
doesn't like dino nuggies? I do judge a man when he orders chicken tenders, though, when you're out at dinner. At dinner.
But
a man orders chicken tenders.
I agree. But how amazing. There's times chicken tender sounds better than a steak.
100% right.
Depends on where you are.
You're 100% right, but you just can't. Like
you can't. No,
I love grape soda. I'd love to go to a restaurant and order grape soda. It's like that Bill Burke skit. He's like, "Do you want a cookie?" He's like, "I wanted a cookie."
Yeah,
but
the problem is if they have grape soda on the menu, there's times when we go out. It's like, well, what are you drinking? Let's have sangria.
So good.
And you want it with 4 grown men sitting at a table drinking sangria.
We would have enjoyed it though.
Did we get some looks?
All the time.
Possibly. Yeah, but who cares?
A Wednesday sangria. That's amazing. We need to start that.
Is there a better drink on the planet than the Miami Vice frozen drink? Is there a better drink on the planet?
That's pretty lovely.
No.
On a hot day?
On a hot day, there's no better drink.
No. I think that's infinitely more masculine and adult than ordering as a grown man in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Ordering chicken tenders, and
I agree, but can we normalize that?
No, but you think so you think you can order the Miami Vice frozen drink is more manly than the chicken tenders?
It's different. It's Major League Baseball and
really
and kitty baseball. John, yes, 100% of people agree with me on this one.
All right, if you're watching this, you got to comment. What is more manly? You got to let me know. What's more manly?
Being in a restaurant, not in a basket with the paper and
this
like
is
you're
like
a bar
the who's going to win between
chicken nuggets. That's not what I'm talking about.
But why can't we not do that? Right? Like that's my point. Is
I didn't say we were right.
I want chicken tenders.
I know
for dinner. Throw 2 things of ranch.
2 on ranch and fries.
All right, who would you rather have dinner with? 1 6-foot Colt drinking a Miami Vice, or 6 1-foot Colts eating chicken tenders?
Well, that's obvious, John. The 6 mini Colt.
Yeah, of course. Because they're running around like
conversation.
crazy.
That conversation of bouncing stuff off would be amazing.
6 1-foot Colts.
I would have 6 1-foot men that I could get to do my bidding. And they would slip under doors.
Shit.
We'd be so rich.
Oh my God, it'd be great. It'd be great.
If you had a superpower, would be invisible, right?
Invisibility, yeah.
100%.
Of course.
I just think I want to be able to, you know what I would really want? I just want to be able to slap people without the fear of retribution. Just anybody.
So you want to be a woman?
No. No.
John's super
After watching Twitter, there's been a whole thing of guys.
No.
My Twitter got hacked today.
Equal fights.
Dude, can we talk about that first?
So
what is it with
pissed
the onslaught of hacking
took
social
me
media shit?
Years to get my Twitter where it is because I follow certain people and I don't know them. It's all just random follow. I get a call and some guy's like, "Why are you tagging me in Bitcoin?" I'm like, "What?" And then I'm like, "I don't know." And then another guy texts me like, "Oh, you're tagging a lot of people in Bitcoin and other shit." And I'm like, "What?" And
Forex trading.
Well, and then I go and it's like everything. It's Bitcoin. It's like I don't even know if they're OnlyFans. It was like 4 different just
Colt,
tag.
That guy is still probably not any worse than the guys who are doing it. Say they're doing it legitimately. So just
I sat there, but I had to deactivate my Twitter. I'm like, really? What was the point of it?
Why can't you just change your password?
No,
I did, but
dude,
it's
Gidget,
I don't know.
Gidget straight lost her
deactivate.
Instagram last week. I mean,
She got it
gone.
back, though.
Yeah, but it was only because I know a guy that spends $100 million a year with Meta. That was the reason. I mean, I called him and he called his rep and we gave him the handle and they immediately kind of shut it down from the top end, held it up, and then we got it reset.
I sent you their counsel too.
Yeah.
Do you think just changing my password is good?
Yeah.
No, you can't. Okay.
I don't.
If he's in his account,
right? But you've got to use two-step. If you can still get in your account and they're in there, then yes.
then you need to set up
Well, I was
two-step
able to because
two-step authorization.
I left
Authentication. No, for
that
sure.
pisses me off because I get a lot. Like there's a.
if you can
it's a
log back in, that's
brainstorming.
not. She was locked out.
I wasn't able to log in. It kicked me off, but then I got in like a half hour later, and it
with 2-factor.
with resetting it.
Yeah, just do that and then set a stronger password.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off.
Well, man.
Anyways, chicken tenders.
No, that's chicken
tenders on a plate. In a restaurant.
We've talked about some serious tough decision making today. Me moving my son, you buying a house, chicken tenders are Miami Vices, 1 6-foot Colt, 6 1-foot Colts. Our tough decisions are out there everywhere, man. It's swirling around.
Every day is a new decision.
Swirling around, it is. And guys, can I give one more piece of advice just on what I'm seeing everywhere in the news? If you do not have a 6-month emergency fund that will cover all your bills, stop spending money on anything else if you get a paycheck. Yeah. If you are somebody that receives a paycheck from somebody, you need to stop spending money on anything right now, because if the wealthiest companies that are out there, i.e., Apple, Microsoft, everybody laying off thousands of people. How much of that do you think is driven by some of the AI advancement, and some of it is just I
don't think yet.
They overhired. They did a big hiring 2 years ago. Here's my problem. I have issues with these guys.
This is his problem.
This is my only problem with it. No, my problem is
this. I'm talking about
you're giving billions of dollars to charity. Stop laying off your fucking people.
That's a good point.
I'm sorry. All these guys, people who made you who you are, take care of them first before you start. And I love charity.
I gotta say,
I love charity, but I'm tired of seeing people lay off 12, 15, 20,000 people and giving billions a year away. Put that towards the people that
Colt
made you.
could post an argument on why you should not give to charity.
I'm not saying don't give it to charity, but I'm just saying.
Super unpopular, and I hope maybe we don't even play this.
What
do you guys think? I feel like maybe we've talked about this. How do you feel about GoFundMe?
Oh, we talked about that.
They take way too big of a kick, and then you can just put anything up, and then it's a scam.
You shouldn't be putting GoFundMe up.
There's a new company. Was it you? Somebody came to me. When we were at the that networking event at Aria.
Yep.
And were they talking to both of us about what it is? They have a new deal.
I was talking to the.
Yeah, you were talking to your English porn star or whatever it was.
It was with Ari Gold.
With Ari. No. One of the people that I met through Snack Daddy is built a platform very similar to GoFundMe, with the exception of they manage the distribution for the cause, which means the money is escrowed with them. They verify the cause and they pay directly to vendors that support whatever it is. So if it's like Nancy and Billy's house burned down. Okay, cool. We're going to verify their house burned down. And if they want furniture, they go to the furniture store, and then we cut a check to the furniture store to replace the furniture. We're not handing them a check for $87,000. That's not what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And it kind of creates another level of accountability that eliminates that Wild West feeling that they kind of have. I thought it was a good idea.
I like that's great.
It seems like a lot of management.
What did we talk about last show? Controls.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this:
controls.
that Buffalo Bills guy that died and came back, right?
DeMar Hamlin.
They gave him like $8 million for his GoFundMe, right?
It was $3.4 million in his contract that they're going to fully pay.
Yeah.
And then his GoFundMe is worth.
So let's say he never comes back to football game. Would you guys have issues if he took that personally, since he can't make his career anymore?
Yeah, because they're paying him $3.5 million.
Yeah. But he was paid to take that risk.
He was paid to take that risk, and they're paying his full contract, even though based on the NFLPA standards doesn't have to. He seems like a really good kid, though.
Yeah.
And that fund that he started, he was trying to give. I think that maybe he, if he doesn't play football again, I hope he does. I would love to see him. I was watching that game and horrified. I would really like to see him come back just as a human interest story. Mm-hmm. But if he takes that money and starts kind of maybe spending some time in the offseason, finding really good causes to distribute, he has that right to say where it goes. Yeah. He started it.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
was just wondering. I heard that argument.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But I
if he was making $10 an hour and it happened, maybe. Because he wasn't getting,
I think you're not being $10 an hour.
You're not being compensated in a way that puts your life at risk.
And if but Jesus, man, it's like you talk about cops and firefighters that die on the job and teachers that get shot, and life is so unfair. It's funny that we just find these things like $8 million for a multimillionaire who had a heart attack and is totally fine.
Yeah,
it's just we have a funny way of like you can't. This is where you have to stop eating animals, right? It goes down the line, pig, and then you kind of start approaching dog, and it's like, nope, that's a hard
personality. It's a personality.
No, but there's personality. For some people it's rabbits, for some people it's delicious stew. So it's just funny how arbitrary a lot of these things we do in our lives are.
I agree.
So Chris Connell supports the eating of dogs.
No,
we'll just leave it there.
Going the other way, John.
You're going the other way.
Anything that's cute, stop eating it.
I love that. It was there's a comedian that was talking about
too.
how terrible the American public is, and he told a story. He goes, "Look, here, I'm gonna tell you a story, and this is how you know the American public is terrible."
Yeah, I know where you're gonna go.
My father passed away like 4 months ago. My mother said, he had a dog. My mother said, "Should we tell the dog?" And I was like, "What?" Yeah. She said, "Yeah, because my dad's dog of like 12 years, and so German Shepherd." So my mom went home and bent over to the dog and said, Pop's gone to heaven. He's not coming home anymore. So we just wanted you to know. And he goes, that night, the dog crawled up in my dad's chair and died. And as soon as he said it, the whole audience goes, oh. And he goes, yep. See, not one of you fuckers is sorry about my father.
Dad dying, you bunch of maniacs.
None of you guys cared about my dad dying at all. You cared about the dog, and that's it.
Would you rather see a pedophile get shot?
Oh, God, we had such a good end point at the end of that story, and you just swerve it into
or a deer get shot.
What do you mean?
Which one would you rather see?
Colt, literally nobody would rather see the deer get shot.
I think people can't stomach seeing a person get shot.
I think this is where he starts. This is where he starts.
What are you doing?
He's starting to lobby. He's starting to lobby for his human hunting club. Is what this is.
A lot of people can't take a human being shot.
We've already told you there's measures against you being able to just go wantonly murder people. Okay, I know they've done horrible things, but it's not going to happen. Stop making fetch work. Stop trying to make fetch work.
Poor deer.
You can't do it. Oh boy.
Even deer hunters are typically highly religious people too, and they're very pro death penalty. So even that constituency would be like, no, I'd rather see the guy get shot.
Yeah.
There's nobody, Cole.
Yeah, Cole, you're not going to get to hunt.
What
humans.
about a guy that
that was such a hard
threatened lawsuits? How about this one? I had a guy just all last week threatening lawsuits. Would you rather him get shot than a deer?
I don't want.
Just because he was threatening a lawsuit.
Yeah, what a douche.
He's probably got friends and family and kids. Yeah, I'd probably.
Yeah, that deer does too. And he's not threatening lawsuits. He's just over there eating grass.
Just nibbling.
Being a cute little nibbler.
Just nibbling.
Be cute. Eating that grass. Not threatening lawsuits.
Oh, and with that, that's how you know that the show is coming to a close for this week.
I know Colt. I've known him for years. Even that caught me off guard.
That's where you off. Yeah, save it for we have a guest, Colt, which I think we will have guests next week. I think we got guests coming into the studio next week, which are awesome dudes, and hopefully they'll be able to work that out. So, Connell, well, Colt, besides, the world's most dangerous game, where would they find you if they want to find
hills,
you?
In the hills of
Other than the remote island, the remote island in the Philippines.
yeah. Epstein's Island's turning into human hunting.
Where you buy the whole thing,
With an elephant gun. So how do they
I'd be afraid to shoot an elephant gun. That thing kicks hard, man. That's a recoil.
Where do they find you, Colt?
Here in Henderson right now. no, Colt_Amidan
There you
Instagram.
go. Counselor, how do they find you?
Connell LV or 702 Connell 266-6355.
Oh, boy.
I thought you were going to say 702 Roofing. I was
No.
like, thanks,
No,
buddy.
no,
there's a plug.
702 Roofing.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Sorry about Colt going all pod per. Well, no, I'm not, because that's what makes the show great. Remember, if you're going to move, you might as well move forward. See you next time, everybody. Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links that things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout.